Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is one of our impromptu conversations around a topic that has come up a lot recently that we know you need to hear. And so the question of the day is, are you treating your business bank account like an ATM, like a place where you can just pull money out whenever you need it personally and you pay yourself, you take an owner's draw sort of at willy-nilly, like at the times that you feel like you need some cash in your personal. And that is, so I'm asking you that. I want you to sit with that and think about it. And we want to share with you some of the other ways you might be treating your business finances like a bit of an ATM and or causing your business finances to feel really messy, causing you to feel like your business is actually making a lot less money than it really is because it's messy, because you don't have a system, because you don't have a plan, and you're not truly separating your business life from your personal life and your business finances from your personal finances. So Becca is nodding if you are not watching this on the other channels on YouTube.
Put me in, coach. Put me.
Tapping you in. Ready, go.
Okay. I'm just going to broad stroke this for a second. You cannot make decisions with your money when you don't know your numbers. You can. And they feel terrible. You don't know if you've made the right decision. You second guess yourself. You're like, oh, shoot, could I afford that? Should I have done that? Buyer's remorse comes in. Like all of these feelings of guilt and shame and like not being able to follow through. All of these feelings can come up when you don't know your numbers and you're trying to make decisions. You cannot guess when it comes to money and feel good about the decisions that you're making. So one of the things that is happening a lot in our world is when your personal and your business finances are so tangled up that you don't know which is which. You don't know who's paying for what. You don't know where the money's coming from, and you don't know where it's going, and you don't know which account has paid for it. This is where it gets so sticky in your brain that you are paralyzed from being able to make decisions. Your business feels like you look at your business bank account and you're like, oh my God, I don't make any money. I need more sales. I need more money. Oh my, and you focus so hard on the business and what the business is not doing that you are blinded to the fact that your personal finances could be driving all of this emotional distress, all of this emotional decision making. It could be driving you to think you need more sales when in actuality, you need to separate the accounts and know exactly who's doing what.
So let's give an example. Because this is something that we're seeing a lot right now. So I'll give a specific example. We had a client who we were looking at her numbers and she said, my business is not making enough. And I'm not seeing, I know it's making money. I know it makes money because I can see the revenue line. Like I know that money comes in, but where is it going? Because at the end of the month, there's a lot less in there than she felt like there should be. And she didn't know where it was going, even though she had her numbers in front of her. And so what we're seeing often is there's like an intersection of, I use this credit card for personal and business expenses, but only these specific business thing. And like you're justifying in your head, like why you use it for both. And it just leads to messy confusion when it comes to your money. You don't know exactly how much to pay off from the business, from the personal. And what we're seeing is business owners are using, the business account to pay that credit card off, even though it's sometimes all personal. Sometimes it's the personal credit card. And so the mistake there is rather than, so let's say you do have your credit card and it's just personal and you know that the money you make from your business is how you plan to pay for those things on that credit card. The mistake is paying the credit card directly from the business account. I'm going to say that again. Regardless of the expense, if it's a personal expense, it should only ever be paid from your personal checking account. Okay. So if you want to pay off, let's say a credit card, or make a payment, let's say you want to pay your water bill from your business every month, like you make enough from your business to pay the water bill. That specifically is your business's responsibility. Your business should still never pay the water bill directly. Your business is a separate entity, and it should pay you, the human being that works for the business, into your personal bank account. And then you, the human being that has this water bill, should pay the water bill from that checking account. That's what we mean when we're saying that it's messy, when you're intertwining personal and business stuff. Becca, I know you're just like, let me in there.
Like
What's
dying.
happening? I know.
So I don't know how else to say this other than your personal and your business bank accounts should be separate in a bank.
Period.
1,000,000%. And also, they cannot be cleaned up separately. You cannot have a clean business bank account and messy personal finances. Your messy personal finances are going to trickle over into your business and start making business finances and business decisions feel super hard. If your personal finances are clean and you clean those up and you have messy business finances, what is going to happen? Your messy business is going to trickle over to your personal and mess up the systems you have over there. You have to clean them up at the same time, and you have to keep them separate all the time.
And what we mean by that, like, so if you guys could see my wallet, is I have a lot of businesses and bank accounts. So I'll tell you how I do this, because I need it all to be so separate that I actually have different banks. Like I bank with a different bank for each business, just so that I can fully have a separate checking account. And just, it's so easy for me to know that when I log into this bank account on the online banking or this app on my phone, it's because I'm in this business's mindset and I'm tracking for this business. My husband and I have started, we're going to be putting labels. I've got my label maker out because I said, we got to label our debit cards. We have one for our rental that is totally separate from our personal lives. We have one for our family. I have one for my coaching business. I have one for our business that we bought together, our waste management business. So they all have a separate checking account, and they each have a dedicated credit card. And one of our businesses does not have a credit card. So our waste business actually doesn't have one. I didn't think we needed one. So how I get around that. So let me give you like okay, but what if I don't have the means to get a separate credit card? This is something that we've chosen to do. If I have to use a credit card to buy something for that business, I'll actually just make sure to go in to the online banking. And so let's say I use my personal credit card. I know we say don't ever do this, but I know that there are times when it just has to happen. There's one expense that I cannot pay any other way in that business. So what I do is I put it on my personal credit card. I log into the business account right then and there, and I transfer the exact amount so that the checks and balances of seeing this exact amount came in or went out and this exact amount came in, it's very easy for me to track. Because what we don't want you to do is just start like lump summing money to pay things off and not know what you're actually paying off. And that's what's happening. It's
Especially
messy.
credit cards. We're noticing that your credit card balance is $3,000, and we ask, okay, well, what
What's
makes
in
up
there?
that $3,000? I don't know, stuff for the business. Great. What stuff for the business? I'm not really sure. Okay, let's go through it and make sure that A, it's all for the business, and B, that you know what you're spending. Because here's what I want to give you a visual of what is happening. Let's say you are bringing in $10,000 in revenue every single month. $10,000. Your expenses are about $4,000, right? So automatically you've dropped your profit to $6,000. But you're paying a personal credit card of $4,000 from your business bank account. So you are making $10,000, and now it looks like you're only profiting $2,000 before taxes. And now you're feeling like, "Oh my god, I don't know how to run a business. Like I'm not a good business owner. I don't make enough money. I need to make more money. Where's all my money going?" You're not paying yourself, you're paying your credit card with your money that's yours. And so two things need to happen here. You need to be very conscious of what's going on your credit card if you're using credit cards. Like track it as if it's a debit card. And then when you're paying this credit card, you need to make sure you know which account you're paying it from. Business bank account pays business credit cards. Personal bank accounts pay personal cards. And it makes it so easy in your brain. You don't have to think about it anymore. You know exactly how much profit you're making in your business. You know exactly how much profit you need in your personal, and you know exactly where everything is going to go. That is what organized money feels like. That's what it looks like. So when we say get your numbers together, organize your money, know your numbers, that's what we're talking about. How much is coming in? How much is leaving? Where is it leaving to go do things for you? And then if it's on a credit card, how are you paying for that? Do you have the money in your account to pay that? And then do you have money in your account to pay yourself?
This is what we're seeing from business owners that are making six figures, that are saying things like, I know I make good money, but I don't know where it's going. 9 times out of 10, no, 10 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally 10 times out of 10, they are paying personal expenses with the business. So the business looks like it's making less revenue. Then it feels like they don't have enough ever. So then they get into a scarcity panic. I need to sell more. I got to get into the hustle.
I can't
Instead
pay
of,
myself.
I can't pay myself enough. I'm not very good at this whole sales thing. My business isn't very successful, which then just spirals into, that whole narrative in your mind. The difference is, if you just slow down enough to get in control of your numbers, I promise you, you will be able to speed up again to grow the business, to start working towards your bigger financial goals, your personal goals. But that messy, those messy habits that you have, the mess that you're kind of like it's like a nest, like you're making it worse every time you swipe the card for one thing that's meant like a personal credit card for a business expense, and you didn't intentionally do it. It's just causing the nest to get more and more entangled, and then for you to feel more overwhelmed about the idea of taking control of it. And the coolest part about taking control of your money is that when you have a system, it really, like, I timed myself when I started going back and moving. My husband and I, we just started to this year put our money together. We always had it separate, and we started to put everything together. And I timed myself. How long is it going to take me to track 1 month from the year, start to finish, everything for our personal? Well, it took me between about 20 and 35 minutes per month.
Mm-hmm.
To get everything I needed together for an entire month of tracking, to be able to make decisions, to be able to plan for next year that same month, to be able to know what was coming and going, to get the data. We averaged spending this amount on groceries. It was very eye-opening on where our money was going that did not align with our goals. Because we kept our money separate, it actually made it harder for us to know that we were on the same page about a lot of things. Yeah. And so there was just so much data that came out of 20 to 35 minutes.
Okay, 2 things. I personally do mine twice a week, and it takes me about 5 minutes each time, so 10 minutes a week, right? And that's because I have the system. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I have a checklist. What am I doing first? What am I doing second? That makes everything, you don't have to think about anything because you know what to expect, you know what's gonna come, and you know it's not gonna take that long. We have a client, last year, she had to pay some of her business expenses out of her personal savings account. And she was so upset that she had to pull money from her personal account to pay for her business because she did not plan ahead. This year, actually, this weekend, she texted me and she said, it's October and the same thing is happening that happened last year, except I have a business savings that I'm pulling from this year. Like, okay, safety net, amazing. She didn't want to have to touch it, but she has it because she had the data from last year that told her October is a rough month for this business. You need to have money to be able to keep the business afloat and to pay yourself in October. So she did that. And then this is even better. So we were talking about it, and I said, what if, how much, do you know how much you had to pull from your personal savings account last year? Yes, 3,000. Great. How much are you having to pull from your business account this year? 3,000. Great. You have 2 years of data. The number is the same. This year, starting in January, we're going to take $3,000, divide it by 12 months, and you are going to put that money away starting now so that you have the 3,000 for October, but you also get to keep your business savings intact. You don't have to use it. This is what happens. Like, this is the third year of her tweaking the system, but it's every year it's getting better for her. Every year she's getting ahead of the situation. And that's where we want you. We had another client this week who said, I feel like I'm really good at tracking the numbers after I've spent the money, but how do I get ahead of that? Like, how do I decide what I'm going to spend? You need the information. You have to know what
You
you've
need the
been doing
data.
in the past. You need the data. And so she does have 10 months of data, and now she gets to go look January through what month are we in? October. January through October, I spent on average X amount for groceries, gas, like miscellaneous shopping, whatever. And now she gets to decide what does she want to spend and where does she want to cut that off. If you listen to the sacrifices episode last week, this is one of the things, like, you get to decide how much you want to spend, and maybe it feels like a sacrifice for you right now, and that's okay, because one day you're going to be like the other client who says, I didn't have to pull from my personal savings account. I knew exactly where the money was coming from, and next year I'll know exactly that it's not coming from any savings account, that I have it covered. That's what's possible for you. I'm getting really excited. Like, I just want to talk about this forever.
Never, never. I think the coolest, I'm in the same boat. I think the coolest part about that story is this. The circumstance was the same last October as it was this October. The circumstance was the same. Her business has a dip in income. The first year it felt like business sucks right now. This October, business sucks. I'm not
The
making
sky is
sales.
falling.
Something's going wrong, whatever the story was, right? Now we know this year, I mean, again, 2 years of data is still not enough. It's still only two 30-day windows of data, okay? That's how I do two, apparently, is one finger and one finger. Two, but this year, there was preparation, number one. Number two, it was, oh, okay, this happened to me before. I didn't die last time, so I'm going to be okay. And the preparation was, I have savings, so I already know how to handle this dip in income. And then you coached her now on, what are we going to do next year if and when this happens again? Let's get even more ahead of it. Let's make another new plan. So that's actually 3 years of growth and learning by being able to look at your numbers. This is a long con. Like, money management is a long con. It is not an overnight thing. You are not going to get your numbers in order by finding some magical spreadsheet, tracking everything, for the year, and then now you're just good. Like, this is what Becca's talking about when she says, I do a money date twice a week. I know what to do. I know what to expect, because Becca has years of the data and the habit and the system. Whereas I've been managing my money for a number of years now. I went through Mind Her Business 2 years ago, and still I've almost like started over, because my husband and I are joining our money together right now. And so we don't have years of the same level of data, because I was just tracking what I was responsible for, and now I'm tracking everything. And so it's like the data and the habits for me are going to take some time, because now I'm building new habits. And so, like, but it's exciting. Like, I love doing it. It's hard, it's frustrating, it's new, it's taking some time right now. I had it all buttoned up, and now I'm kind of starting back at square one. But I know what to do, because I have a plan, and now I get to start making new decisions based on this new data in front of me. And that's what we want for you. We want you to untangle. We want money to feel clear and clean. We want you to know what to pay with what account. We want you to know, how am I going to spend the money that I do have? How much do I need to put away for these tough months? All of those decisions don't have to be sky is falling moments. They can be just another day in the life that you have a plan for.
It's really exciting because knowing your numbers is one thing. Knowing what to do when you see the numbers is a totally different ballgame. And then you get into this, like, third level where you know your numbers, you know what to do with the numbers, or you know what they're telling you that you could or shouldn't do. The third level is when you get to start changing the habits in advance because you know in advance what's coming. You know in the future how much revenue you have coming in. You know, so this client who is pulling from personal savings and then business savings, next year we don't want her to pull from any savings. She has so many options next year. Like starting today, she could save up for that 3,000, or she could decide I'm not going to pull 3,000 from anywhere and I'm not going to save it up. I'm going to make sure that I have leads, like a whole funnel of leads for September and October ready to sell in October. So I don't have to pull. Like she gets to make decisions now ahead of time to prepare herself, and it's exciting for her.
And so what you're saying, like we're not just giving you the tool to manage your money and to make a plan for the money and how much I need to save so I have enough. You're saying not only when you know your numbers and you get control of your numbers, do you know how to manage them and what to do with them, but you also then get to start making decisions for your business. Like, wow, maybe I need to rev up my lead generation, or what sells the best in my business. When am I on my A game? When am I selling the most? What seasons? What could I do to increase sales this month? What could I do in May, June, July to front load my fall sales game? What could I pre-sell in the fall for Christmas time? What could I, like, there's just so much that you can then business strategize when you know your numbers and when you know the ebbs and flows of business and sales, which is inevitable in sales and commission-based income. There's just so much data and so much choice that comes with knowing your numbers.
I want to read her exact text message to me. So this came in on Friday, and she said, "It's October, and I'm having a checking account repeat." And I knew exactly what she was talking about because we've had many conversations about how this traumatized her last October. It has a million exclamation points, and she said that's the only thing that I could read before I opened the message. Down below in capital letters, but I have X amount in savings, so the chill is real. So, like, legit, she felt chill about it. She was like, "Yeah, I have to pull
You
from my
got this.
business savings, but like, it's there, and who cares? And there's a lot left over after I have to pull from this." So it's I know
What a
you
win.
we're nerds that we get excited about when you have so many choices, but we're not the only ones. Our clients are constantly excited and renewed and have relief and have, like, I don't know,
Clarity.
clarity and future possibilities are finally within reach when they know their numbers. They get excited too. It's not just us. So we're going to wrap this up. You know, the point of this is you need to know your numbers, separate your bank account, stop making things messy for yourself. If it feels messy, start from today. From today forward, I will not mess or like
One decision at a time.
one decision at a time. We're not saying you have to go back to January 1st and untangle things. Start today. If you have no idea how to organize your numbers, if you have no idea what to even do to start, go to our Instagram. It's Mind Her Business Official on Instagram. Go to the link in our bio. We have multiple resources for you that are free that can get you started today. There's a money date checklist, there's a CEO checklist, there's a text list where we send you tips and tricks and like time. It's this time of the year. Are you focused on, fill in the blank? You have so many resources available to you from people who have been in your shoes and who know exactly how you're feeling right now. Use them. Use them to your advantage before the new year. You don't have to wait until the new year.
We would love for you to also come over on Instagram when you're coming over to check out that link in bio to get some of those freebies that are going to really help you. We want you to come over to our messages and just tell us what spoke to you today. What gave you an aha moment? What was the kick in the pants that you needed to take some action? Or what is just that one expense that you know is messy that you could make a phone call today, that you could just make a decision to clean up and just start moving one foot in front of the other to simplify your money and to clean up that mess?
We love you and we will not allow you to stay stuck. We will not allow you to stay where you are. You cannot go another year where you are. You cannot.